Greetings, YouTube. I woke up this morning to more forum post links about a number of things. Specifically, though, of course, if you clicked on this video, good morning. Or I guess if you're across the pond, good afternoon. We're going to talk about RELICS. Now, let's say, because 6-star Hercules is still, by all accounts, in terms of the polls I conduct on my channel, not only the far and away number one champion in the Cosmic class, but the number one champion, period, in the game. And it's not even close for the polls that have been sent in. In fact, KT1 confirmed on his channel recently that Hercules is so powerful that had Kabam had the tune down system, they would have angered the player base surely by tuning him down. Maybe that he could have gone from like 12 feats of strength to 8. I don't know. But we are so thankful that he is staying as is, because I believe the whole tune down system was in large part to avoid creating the next Hercules, though of course Hercules still, in a lot of ways, I don't think at least, breaks the game to the point that you still can't get knocked out, or there aren't going to be certain nodes that still kind of nerf his capabilities on their own. With that being said, let's say you want to improve your 6-star Hercules. Let's say you think he can actually get better outside of going to rank 5, which by the end of Act 8, I think we'll be able to take our first 6-star to rank 5. I really do. Because we've seen a preview of the biggest, I don't even want to call this a leak, it's just Kabam information on the forums. The biggest hype of the first chapter of Act 8 Exploration is a selector that gets you 25% of a Tier 6 class catalyst, which, going back to Hercules, remember you need 3 of those to take a 6-star to rank 5. Everything else, Tier 6 basic, Tier 3 alpha, and Tier 5 class catalysts, we've already seen. And yes, for those of you asking, this would be my first rank 5 6-star. I would be a basic B for doing that, and yet I now use him the most. Besides Corvus, of course, who's still my Alliance Quest Slayer. So, before 7 stars are introduced, which I still expect that to happen next year, by the way, 6 stars are going to get, as we blacken the screen, a facelift in the form of relics. Now, to be clear, the term relics has been thrown around so much that they could mean anything. And so we don't have the specifics on them yet. But we do know from past Survey Monkey Kabam questionnaires into the community that one of the versions that could be a relic is something that would be free-to-play friendly, clearly, technically, which I don't know if I buy. Because Kabam is putting the entire game's future in Battlegrounds. And this would seemingly avoid that by giving you a bonus, and maybe it's both. Maybe you can only get a certain amount by max ranking, and who knows, even max sigging all the other top star rarities of that champion. So not only got to acquire the champion, but you have to max sig them. This would make perfect sense as to why suddenly we get to guarantee ourselves the 5-star champion that is new in the early access bundle. This would make Kabam a lot more money, because you would know, like, let's say that you really want 6-star Quicksilver, and maybe relics take him to the equivalent of sig 300 instead of sig 200. This is just a theory. This isn't a confirmed fact. It's just me throwing out a hypothetical. Well, if you know that you need him max sig at, let's say, 4, 5, and 6-star rarity all at the same time, maybe 3, 4, 5, and 6, well, then you'd want to guarantee yourself the 5-star. This would suddenly also make 6 stones, especially 5-star 6 stones, have a lot of value again as you save up them for, say, the newest prestige champion in the top 5. And we covered recently on this channel a really compelling forum post about how rank down tickets should be considered for champions like Valkyrie and Omega Sentinel for the strict purpose of top 5 prestige when they fall out of the top 5 because they're still so new, and yet that's what's happened. With that being said, we have some updates. So first off, we have RELICS. The 12th, we'll have Battlegrounds again, but aren't supposed to be introduced in the game. The RELICS System 2, they were going to talk about Battlegrounds and RELICS at the same time. Meritox says, I, for one, hope RELICS never come into the game. Look, Meritox. RELICS are Thanos. RELICS are inevitable. But like Thanos, half the community is going to threaten to disappear. Because it's inevitable that when the game progresses, there are going to be people who don't want to progress with it. They just want to keep their eventual rank 5, 6 stars, and that's it. But we know this from when 5 stars are at rank 5. If you don't bring in something new, a new carrot to chase, a new way to extend the goal line for the people at the top, then they're going to get bored and they're going to quit. And I always say, what would you rather have? RELICS and 7 stars or no game? Because that may be, unfortunately, for a lot of people's perspective, that may be just what it has to be. That may be the inevitability. Kabam nerfed to the utmost degree the Catalyst market with the new Catalyst market for Tier 5 Basic and Tier 2 Alpha. They did this because they once did the same thing for Tier 4 Basic and Tier 1 Alpha. And when they did that, they were preparing for the next round of rank up items for the next rarity or relic. In that case, 6 stars. So we've seen this playbook before. They're not going to be amazingly kind to us if they don't have a plan to make up that money somewhere else. And Battlegrounds is a push for them unlike anything we've ever seen. So, Kabam Mike, eventually, and by the way, you can see Meritox says, because this game wasn't built on an equipment-based game, the equipment for this game for synergies and awakened abilities, if you want extra abilities, then you make a team with those synergies, or you work to awaken a champion. Relics will either make the game more pay-to-win than it already is, or they'll be essentially useless. And I don't want either of those things. I don't want another piece of the puzzle to make champions good. I don't want a champion to be released and be meh normally, but God tier with this special relic that Kabam hides behind a paywall. Again, you may not want that, but Kabam may feel it's the only way to really continue to make the profit that they need to justify the game to exist. We don't own any of this, okay? We don't. We don't own our rosters. We don't own the game. We're just renting code on a device. We are fooling ourselves into thinking that any of this is actually ours. I mean, you could really say that existentially about anything in this world, including your own body. But like that's just the reality of the situation. If Kabam decided tomorrow that they were going to shut the servers down, everything that we've purchased and everything that we've done would cease to exist, and we wouldn't have a right, because they'd give Google Play and Apple a heads up for any refunds, because our little experiment of the Marvel Casino Champions would effectively be over. And we know this because we saw Realm of Champions have their servers closed down and go through the same thing. So Kabam Mike said the initial plan was to have them launch together, meaning Battlegrounds and Relics, but we didn't want to launch 2 major new additions to the game at the same time. Too much potential for things to go wrong. Well, that might be the truest statement Kabam Mike's ever said. We'll have more information on Relics to you in the next month or two. And the next month or two is August. August. You can tell I'm on 2 hours of sleep, right? Is October and November. I expect a number of things to be tied to this. One of which is Battlegrounds. And maybe if they were going to launch them together, they were going to do that literally in like a Venn diagram scenario of the two things meaning something together. I know that this is going to split the community. People like my good friend Mama Bear have said that they'd quit if 7 stars came in or Maven Relics. But I also think it's inevitable. It's Thanos. And we just got to get on board, or at least accept that it's happening. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Let's make sure this doesn't get to 10 minutes and get those pesky triple or quadruple ads, knowing how YouTube works now. So let's end the video here. Thanks for watching.